For the last few months, we've asked county sheriffs and police chiefs all over the state what they think about red flag laws. It's a law that gives officers the power to temporarily take guns away from people who are deemed a threat to themselves or others. It's currently on the books in 17 states, and we know this is a controversial issue. In fact, the majority of chiefs and sheriffs did not respond to us, but we did find dozens who support red flag laws. And tomorrow, researchers in Minnesota will release a significant new study that they say shows red flag laws could save lives.
Be alert. Old one out, new one in, bolt forward. And clear him out, make him safe.
That deafening echo from a remote corner of Scott County
Set up the drill again.
is the sound of officers trying to reload faster.
The longer you take to address that threat, more people are going to get hurt, period.
They are training for that day
New one up.
when they may be outgunned.
San Bernardino, they fired almost 900 rounds at that vehicle. There's no cop on the planet that wants to be the person that has to go in, but that's exactly why they're coming out here to train.
Dr. Jillian Peterson is looking at what's happening before police have to respond to those shootings.
Most of them plan to kill themselves or be killed.
The Department of Justice funded her team's work called the Violence Project. She's one of the professors at Hamline University who interviewed mass shooters and studied a half-century worth of mass shootings. They found 4 in every 5 mass shooters previously showed signs of a crisis or mental health problem.
80%. I mean, we've had shootings we studied where 60 different kids knew it was going to happen before it happened.
Did anyone say to you that, gee, if someone would have intervened in my life, this wouldn't have happened?
We ask, is there anyone or anything that could have stopped you? And every single time we get yes.
But Peterson knows that any measure to restrict access to guns will be met with resistance.
People get fired up about this.
So much of these conversations are so emotionally charged. People's heels are dug in so deep.
Do you think Minnesota should adopt a red flag law?
No, but let me add this. I think the concept is a very good concept, but I think the actual application is going to be difficult to do. I think we're going to end up butting heads more.
Dispatch carry.
Dispatchers are eyes and ears until we get to the scene.
Crow Wing County Sheriff Scott Goddard says his county developed a softer approach after the Sandy Hook shooting in 2012. A special team tries to convince people to voluntarily hand over their weapons when they show signs that they may harm themselves or others.
Did you think to yourself, wow, we may have prevented something tragic here?
Absolutely. Several times. A lot of people that make these threats, and a lot of people that are saying these things are actually crying out for help.
Okay, we are on our way.
While the tactics are similar, the sheriff says he will not support a measure that requires someone to turn over their weapons. And this is coming from a man who has seen this from the other side.
You know, I was involved in a shooting where I was shot back in 2013.
Did that incident change how you view guns or gun control or gun violence?
No, I think it helped cement it in a little bit. I saw it as him having a problem, not the
guns.
Not the guns, and not the person.
The red flag law is not a deprivation of rights. What it is, in fact, is a life-saving measure.
Bill Sullivan has been the police chief in Oakdale since the late 1980s. He's one of more than 36 chiefs or sheriffs who told us they support a red flag law.
Have you ever been in a situation where you knew someone who could be a danger, had a weapon in their home, and there was nothing you could do about it?
Oh, I think probably all of our officers have been involved in those kind of situations.
In that kind of situation, is it frustration? What do the officers feel?
Oh, it's fear. You're enormously concerned that you're going to leave and something horrific is going to end up happening.
Adding to that fear is what Sullivan describes as the evolution of firepower and the potential for his officers to be outgunned. The reality, as we found on the gun range, every second counts before and after the trigger is pulled.
If that's an extra second or two, that means an extra second or two that innocent people or another partner is getting shot at. Get up there! Downshift!
And I'm not talking about the elimination of firearms. What I'm saying is that we need to have a rational conversation about what actually makes sense anymore. Given the technology and the lethality of weapons.
So So you're talking red flag laws?
Red flag laws, I think, would be enormously helpful to families and law enforcement.
This is something that we can get people through.
Regardless of how this conversation ends, the topic has generated as much noise as the gun range itself.
It's become so polarizing and so partisan that the goal was to create data, because data is the data. You know, it's not opinionated, it just is what it is.